One small mistake can flip your whole life upside down. Arun lived in Vedio, a dusty town where everyone knew each other. He ran a small tea stall near the bus stand, serving chai to travelers. Every night, Arun sat on his roof recording videos with his old smartphone. His wife Priya laughed and said, "Arun, who will watch your videos?" One Tuesday, Arun walked home and heard shouting near the temple. A group of boys were throwing stones at a stray dog, Arun's friend Chiku. Arun shouted at the boys, and they ran away, leaving Chiku hurt. Chiku whimpered, bleeding, and Arun gently picked him up. He rushed Chiku to the local vet and spent his entire day's earnings. That night, angry and emotional, Arun recorded a raw video on his phone. He said, "Why do people hurt innocent animals? I will do what I can." He uploaded the video without any editing and went to sleep. The next morning, Arun's phone buzzed non-stop with notifications. His video had crossed 10,000 views in one single night. Priya woke up and saw him frozen. "What happened?" she asked. The video was trending, titled "A Cup of Tea and a Wounded Dog." By afternoon, the views hit 100,000. Arun was scared. A TV news channel in Chennai picked up the story and sent a reporter. Meera arrived in Vedio, sharp-dressed with glasses, looking for Arun. Arun nervously agreed to an interview with Meera at his tea stall. Meera asked, "Is this a publicity stunt? Did you hurt the dog yourself?" Arun felt like he had been slapped. He tried to explain, but she twisted his words. That evening, the news segment aired, and comments on his video turned ugly. Half the people called him a hero, the other half called him a fraud. Trolls sent hate messages and doxed his home address online. That night, strangers gathered outside Arun's house, shouting and banging. Priya cried in fear. Rajesh said, "I told you this internet nonsense will ruin us." Arun wanted to delete the video, but Priya stopped him. "Then they'll think you're guilty." His tea stall lost customers. People in town started avoiding him. Arun stopped making videos and stopped smiling altogether. One afternoon, a large scarred man walked into the empty tea stall. Gunda sat down and said, "I saw your video. I like dogs too. That reporter is lying." Gunda explained that his own dog had been killed by street boys years ago. He leaned forward and said, "I will help you, Arun. I know those boys." Gunda stood up from the chair and said he would go find those boys right now. Arun looked at him with doubt, but also a tiny spark of hope. Priya held Arun's hand tight after Gunda left. She whispered that maybe this time things would change. Arun just stared at the empty chair. Gunda walked through the dusty streets of Vedio, his scarred face set in determination. He remembered his own dog and felt a fire inside. Near the temple steps, Gunda spotted the same group of boys who had thrown stones at Chiku. They were sitting under a banyan tree, laughing. The boys froze when they saw Gunda. They knew his reputation. Gunda stood over them and said quietly, "I need to talk to you." Gunda asked them why they had hurt that dog. One boy tried to say it was just fun. Gunda's eyes turned cold and he shook his head slowly. The boy started crying and admitted that they were bored and did not think it was a big deal. Gunda sighed and said they needed to tell the truth. Gunda pulled out his old smartphone and pressed record. He told the boys to say exactly what they had done, no lies. One by one, the boys confessed on camera that they had thrown stones at the dog, and that Arun had nothing to do with it. Their voices were shaky. Gunda stopped recording and looked at the boys sternly. He told them if they ever hurt another animal, he would come back. They nodded quickly. Gunda walked back to Arun's house with the video safe on his phone. The street dogs wagged their tails as he passed, as if they knew. Arun opened the door and saw Gunda holding up his phone with a rough smile. "I got it," Gunda said. Priya came running from inside the house. They all sat on the floor and watched the confession video. Arun's hands trembled. Priya squeezed his shoulder. The truth was finally out. Arun was scared to post it. He remembered the hate comments. "What if they still don't believe me?" he said. Priya shook her head firmly. Priya grabbed his hand and said, "If you don't post this, they win. Do it, Arun. I am with you." Gunda nodded in support. Arun took a deep breath and uploaded the confession video. He typed a caption, "The truth, as promised." Then he put the phone down. Within minutes, views started climbing. But this time the comments were different. People wrote, "We believe you, Arun, and sorry for doubting you." The next morning, neighbors who had avoided Arun came to his tea stall and apologized. They said they should not have judged him so fast. At the news station in Chennai, Meera watched the confession video on her computer. She turned pale. Her bosses ordered her to issue an apology immediately. Meera drove back to Vellakkottai. She found Arun at his tea stall and asked for a few minutes. He agreed coldly. Meera spoke on camera, admitting she had made a mistake and accusing Arun without proof. Arun listened quietly. Then he said he accepted her apology. After the interview, Arun told Priya that this whole mess made him realize something. He wanted to do more for stray animals, not just make videos. Arun went to his brother Rajesh and explained his plan to build a shelter for dogs. Rajesh, who once called it nonsense, now looked thoughtful. Rajesh said, "I was wrong about your videos. Let me help you build the shelter. I have some extra land near the temple." Arun smiled for the first time in weeks. Construction began on a small plot. Gunda showed up with a shovel and said he would guard the shelter once it was done. Arun accepted gladly. Chiku, now fully healed, ran around the construction site. He seemed to understand that this place was being built for animals like him. News of the shelter spread in town. People started donating old blankets, bowls, and money. Arun put a list of donors on his video channel. The shelter opened with a small ceremony. Rajesh cut a ribbon, Priya released balloons, and Chiku wore a little scarf. Gunda stood guard at the gate. Arun started making videos again, but now he focused on the shelter stories. He showed rescued dogs, adoption updates, and simple life lessons. His follower count grew slowly but steadily. He never tried to go viral again. He just made honest content that made people feel good. Meera returned one more time and did a positive story about the shelter. This time she praised Arun for turning a bad situation into something good. One evening, Arun sat on his roof like before, but now he felt different. He was not chasing fame. He was just sharing his real life. He thought about the whole journey, the viral video, the hate, the help from a scarred goon, and the shelter. It all started with one small act of kindness. The next morning, Arun fed Chiku by the shelter gate. Gunda came and sat beside him. They did not say much, but both knew they had found a purpose. And so, Arun learned that the internet can be a trap, but truth and kindness will always set you free. He never looked back again.